Hello, folks. Welcome to Earworms if this is your first time. And if it's not your first time, welcome back. For those of you who have been following along and been weekly viewers, either live or after the fact, we are going to continue Star Trek IV The Voyage Home next Sunday, January the 19th. But tonight we have a special episode for you. And, you know, even though it interrupts the flow of the movie, that's fine because you don't often get guests like we have tonight. Tonight we have Isaac Young, a keyboardist and synthesist, who you'll get to meet if you have not heard of his work. You'll get exposed to some really fine playing, really fine sound design, and some, great music. Some of the projects he works on are PX3 and Mono Means One. So I am going to leave my camera on tonight, not go into stealth mode since we're going to be personal here. But before we begin, we're going to introduce our panelists. And first of all, we have right here somebody who needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley, how are you this evening?
Good evening. I am just great. Lawrence, looking forward to this.
Yes, so am I. And we're going to keep our pace up because we want to be respectful of our guests' time.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, you know her as Liza Sahido from the Psyche Electroacoustic Opera Company, as well as my wife. Here she is in avatar mode
Yay.
as usual.
Hello.
She doesn't want to share her beauty with us on Earworms yet.
It's not beauty right now. It's yeah, it's a Sunday night and I gotta work tomorrow, so I'm in my pajamas already.
Well,
Well,
the woman of mystery.
Well, folks, we don't have an intro for our next guest because he's not a regular co-host. So I think I could scrounge a little something up. How about this?
Then I shall. Jesus Christ!
Hello, Isaac Young. I bet you never had an intro quite like
I wasn't
that
expecting that. What's next? The Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, no one expects the
She's about
Spanish
to
Inquisition.
I think it's a good icebreaker.
Oh,
So,
God.
I think I'm going to let you go, Mike, because you have been long been familiar with Isaac's work. So,
Well, yeah, for a little while now.
and when Gabriel was on, it was great to have you take the lead. We'll jump in with our questions as we go, and I'll play the videos as we, as desired. But I think we should get to some music soon. But go right ahead, Mike. You have the floor.
Absolutely. Well, first off, thanks for joining us, Isaac.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Absolutely. I'll do the same as I did with Gabe, kind of just kind of introduce yourself so people can get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm Isaac Young. I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut, so I play piano and synthesizers. Also play all the woodwinds too, and my duo PX3, and also with John Ferrara and Mono Means One, and his other projects as well. Actually, like do the horns for the band the Box Tops. I don't know if you know the song "The Letter." from the 70s, in the
Hmm.
late 60s and 70s. So
Oh,
I empty their horn section when they come up through New England and things like that. So
Oh, wow.
and I
wow.
teach as well. So I'm an educator and clinician. And yeah, that's me.
Well, yes.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, I didn't know that last little bit. So learn something new every day. Yeah, all you guys seem to teach, and who better to learn from? I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
well,
Isaac does have some master classes on YouTube. I've seen some of those. So if you search Isaac Young Masterclass, you could probably find some of those.
Yep. I haven't done those in a while. I should do some more of those.
yeah,
That would
there
be
you
great.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
In due time.
All right. Well, I guess we ought to start with PX3 since that's what led into mono. But PX3, for all the listeners out there, is this guy, Isaac Young, and Rob Madore. And you have been with him for a while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you met Rob and how the PX3 got going?
So we're going on our 6th year as a duo now, which is really cool. It's I always kind of find like the 5-year benchmark is like, is the band gonna last and continue? And we like hit year 5 last year really strongly. It was pretty cool. And then getting to meet John. But Rob and I always kind of knew each other through the music scene of Connecticut, more of just like names rather than ever being in the same room together. And we met actually at a party. One of my closest friends, a great guitarist named Cody Urban, who's built my pedal board for me. He's building John's pedal board right now, actually. And we met and we never actually talked. We played. It was like there was an open jam. I jumped up on stage and like played keys, and this dude played drums. And I don't even remember. He's probably remembers what we played. I almost was like a Stevie Wonder song or something. I don't know. Right? And we just played. And afterwards, we introduced ourselves to each other. It was like we played music before we ever spoke words, and we both kind of just like had this cosmic connection. So we just started comparing notes of like, all right, who are you listening to? And we literally everything that he was listening to, I was listening to, and vice versa at that time. It was very like serendipitous. And
Wow.
so from there, at the time I had just recently been hired to be in this band called No Mind. And so this is with aforementioned Cody. And so needed a new drummer. I was like, with this guy, Rob. So Rob came into the band, and that band, kept more local in Connecticut, like toured around a little bit. And a lot of people were kind of saying, no, you two should do something together. We want to hear something with just the two of you. And it wasn't on our radar. It was like, okay, cool. Like, let's go check that out. Let's do it. So we set up 3 shows, like all close by. It was going to be just kind of 3 nights. That's it. Like, that's all we did. We like came up with a random name, like, all right, PX3, whatever. Okay, cool. We'll throw a stamp on it. We'll do these 3 shows. And we did the first show at this smaller club called Strange Brew. CTS plays there all the time. And people showed up. And then we played another show, and more people showed up. And then we got signed to an agency. And more people showed up. So it was like one of these things where like we didn't go in with the mindset of like, we're going to start a band and we're going to go on tour and we're going to do all this cool stuff. It was like, let's just get together and play. And we had no set list. So we're just like, I don't know, we're just going to make it up. So we're both improvisational musicians by trade. Let's just sit there and make it up. And there was something that kind of birthed out of that freewheeling, no safety net type of approach to a show that has branded the duo for what it is, as like this fully improvisational, but motivically driven musical stylings, right? Where it's it's not like free jazz, but it's where we are making it up as we go along. And so that's kind of how it all started. That's how we met. Like, we haven't looked back since. Then we just started touring, and yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better musical partner in crime. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He's an awesome drummer.
And a human being too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, both of you guys. Yeah. That has been, excuse me, that has been one of the really great things about my association with CTS, and then branching out from there. Everybody is just really cool that's in these bands. Social Assassins as well. Is all of you guys.
That was the first Mono Means One tour we did with Social Assassins.
Yeah, man, I wish you guys would bring that down south. That would.
All right, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, man. I'll put a word in with the big man. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm always after Gabe.
Yeah.
When was the first time you saw CTS?
Oh my god. The first I'm trying to. Oh man, I want to say maybe 2007. Like,
Oh man,
yeah. So I mean, so I played my very first. What was that? Wormtown, Strange Creek. That the festival out in Western Mass. That's like a staple
right.
for the heads up here. Back in 2007, I was subbing in the horn section of this band called the Goose Pimp Orchestra, based out of Boston. And I stuck around and saw this band. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was hooked. And it's funny because like I still pinch myself that John even knows who I am, because I've seen these guys more times than I can count, right? And
Right.
it's just funny that they're like some of my best friends now. Like, I was texting Gabe late last night. It's like, we're all family. It's really cool. So it's
Yeah.
but so I mean, I've been seeing them for a very, very long time. And they'd always play the festivals that I either was on the circuit as well, or like just a patron, like just going to go hang out for the weekend and go catch good music. So they'd always, but I never interact with them. Like that's the craziest thing, is like I never made a point to be like, I'm gonna go meet these guys. I was like, yeah, they're doing their thing. Like, I don't know. As a musician, sometimes it's nice to not be harassed by people. It's like it's nice to just like be in the moment, play the stage, and like respect that space. So that's why I was like, I'm never gonna go meet them. And now they're buddies. So it's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. There you go. Well, boy, 2007. Lucky you. Well, I always say that music seems to come to you when you need it, or you're ready for it, or whatever. Because I'm a longtime deadhead.
Yep.
And so one of the sites I frequent is called Live Music Archive. I don't know if you've ever been on it. But
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Great. Yeah. So
I've got all my dead tapes in the basement. I've got like
there you go, man. There you go.
I've got it all. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on. Okay, so yeah, I'm into live music and all that. I traded tapes back in the day, but anyway, one day I was just perusing the Live Music Archive, as I frequently would do, and I'm scrolling down, and then I see this: consider the source, and I'm like, well, that sounds interesting. And this is about 2019.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I got to check this band out, and the rest is history. But the first video I watched was Ningenuity, so
Okay. Yep.
just blew me the hell away. So anyway, you've been seeing them for a while, and then COVID hit.
Yes.
So the first show I was going to go to got canceled. So I got on Facebook, and I really liked, I saw Gabe with his dutars and all that, and I said. So I sent him an email via their website, and I said, would you be willing to teach a beginner? And he shot me back, and he said, in this country, everyone's a beginner.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. So getting back on track, how did you end up meeting John and eventually getting into mono?
So
Mono means one.
Yeah. So it was a year and a half ago, just give or take. Rob texts me, right? And he's like, hey man, do you have a second to talk? I'm like, uh-oh. What's up, Rob? Right? It's like, he's not that type of person. I was like, what's up? He goes, so I got this email. I'm like, okay. And he sends it to me. It's from John. Like, and I'm like, shut up, man. No, you didn't. Like, what do you mean? How does John know who the hell we are? Right? And he's asking us to like, I'm starting this project. I like love what you guys do. Would you be interested in like working together? I mean, I didn't need to get to the end of the email to say yes. I was like, I told Rob, I was like, say yes. Anything you do, say yes. Like, just say yes. So then, I mean, that was it. I met John for the first time, like formally, when he walked through the front door of my house here and walked into this room. And we had our first rehearsal. Like we met on like Skype. I mean, I wouldn't consider that necessarily like a formalized meeting, but like we had a couple pre-rehearsal meetings where we, like he went over all the songs and we had a tour. He's like, look, we got 6 weeks. Here's a batch of tunes. Here's like, I think it was like 10 dates, something like that. It was all over. And I was like, let's go. Let's hit the ground running. And we immediately did it. It was really cool. So that's what it was. Yeah.
And you guys did some recording for him initially, didn't you?
No, so that was after we did the first tour, give or take. So I think we started, I want to say in May. We did like a May, June, and a handful of dates in July. And I mean, we did through the whole summer, but we ended up going into the studio formally in January of 2024. Yes. Yeah, because we just released a record like mid-year last year. So that was down in North Carolina where Casual Campout, I don't know if you're familiar with that festival, but that's where Casual Campout is held. So,
Right.
our friend Soup, beautiful 300-acre property with yurts, and we retrofitted this yurt
Wow.
into becoming a recording studio.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. So
That's
it's like we all had a
cool.
yurt to stay in, and these are like beautiful. They have like full heat.
Yeah, I've seen the videos, and
Yeah.
Gabe played there too. Beautiful yurts.
Yeah, and we played Casual Campout last year. Like we were on the lineup for the festival last year. But that was cool. But so we kind of had like a handful of tours underneath our hands before we went into the studio. So that way we were like mid-tour form. And then we played a couple shows on the way up after that, and then took some time off, then went back on the road in the spring and toured the album.
So you said Casual Campout is in Florida?
No, outside Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, that's not
Yeah,
close at all.
a little farther
But
up.
anyway.
Yeah, so it's
Sorry. I
Well, when I was talking about recording,
well,
John initially, when he started Mono Means One, was him, because I saw him probably 2023 in Asheville and at the One Stop.
Yeah,
and
him with like looping and stuff.
yeah, he did a solo set, and then after his solo, well, of course, the whole night was solo, but he said, it's going to get weird, and that's when he started using the looping.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, you guys were the loops, right?
Yeah, so I mean, he had some demos recorded, like really like through Compose, like, and I use the demo term lightly. I mean, they're like really like mapped out, like with initial sound design ideas, and, like full composed elements of it. So, it would basically be like, here's your Google Drive folder of your 6, 7, I forget how many tunes it was to begin, like 8, maybe 9 songs, and with like a page of notes, being like, here's where I see the division of roles. And because we had like the initial bit, he didn't really know my synth setup. Like I talked to them and was going over like, okay, cool. Here's like what the tones we can build. And we'd have these meetings where we go over like timbral themes. Like, what do you want to do for this sound design element? But when he found out that I had an Odyssey, then all of a sudden it changed the way that he and I switched roles with bass. So now I cover some of the bass while he's doing more of like doing like the tapping and everything. It's funny, like someone last night came up to me and made a very astute comment. She's like, you play piano like guitar and he plays bass like a piano, right? It's like, it's very funny, right? And so so it was like this we had to kind of feel that out because we didn't know each other's styles. Like we knew about each other clearly, but that was the first bit. So the recordings were roadmaps with a lot of flexibility, and he kind of like, not from a compositional standpoint. So like harmony's harmony, melody's melody, but timbrally and tonally, I have a lot of flexibility and freedom to kind of go down my own path of design with that. So that's when the actual recordings came into fruition. Like once all that was ironed out after the demos.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great show. But so what made him this?
Mike, can I just like?
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate to interrupt this, you guys catching up like this, but our audience out there might want to hear a little bit of music, I think, and
that would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, and so to give them a common frame of reference. And so, Isaac, would you like me to play the example from Mono Means One or PX3?
You could do the Mono Means One. Dude, that's the most recent thing, I think.
Well, I loaded up the PX3.
Okay. Either way, man, whatever you're fine with, that's totally cool.
No, I can easily load that up, no problem. Here we go. Yeah, I posted this in a group that I'm on, and the people there really loved it. So we're going to switch to our video player here, and I just need to click this, and then I can click this. Now, I'm not going to ask you for a timestamp or anything, but let's see here. Should we just play it from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, and just so our viewers know, this is the bass player you're just talking about, and how musically he definitely does love playing harmonies as well as melodies, and I hear it many times where you are basically sometimes taking the role of the bass, like you were saying, and he's up there doing a lot of melodic and harmonic things. So it's really cool how you guys switch back and forth and do so pretty seamlessly. So with that being said, I'll play this so people can check it out. I'm going to pause it right here, even though it may not be the best spot, but I wanted to get a shot where you were on screen. Um, uh, you mentioned before that you have an Odyssey. What are some of the other instruments you're using here? Because a lot of our viewers are electronic musician
Oh
enthusiasts.
yeah. So this rig is pretty cool. So actually it's what makes it unique is that there's no actual conventional piano at all. So it's a little bit different than my PX3 rig. So this one, which is like the current touring rig for Monomeans one on my, so what you see like in front, it's like a Moog Sub 37, not the subsequent. So it's the sub, it's the first one.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like the Fatar keyboard and everything like that. So it's like the one of the original ones. Which is
Oh,
great.
wow.
And that was actually my first analog synth ever.
Mm.
I treated myself to a nice one, and when I first bought it, this is like I don't remember how long ago when they first came out. I couldn't get a sound out of the thing. I knew I was in deep, and so it was great.
Was
Right?
the low pass filter all the way?
I don't remember what it was. I like triggered some like weird init setting, and I was like, "Oh shit, what do I?"
That's usually it. With
Yeah.
there's a cutoff frequency that's
Something,
higher
yeah.
or lower than what you're playing.
Absolutely. So then underneath that in the middle, I have a Prophet Rev 2.
Oh, cool. I have a Prophet 8.
Oh, those are great. I really like the Rev 2. I just like the routing options of it, and I like that it has a little bit more bark. And it's just like it's really warm when you want to. Like you can get to sing if you know how to like massage it pretty good. And then on my left is an Odyssey. And that's actually the Behringer remake of it. Which is
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's like I wasn't gonna get. I mean, I got it on a whim. It was like during COVID. I was like, I'm bored. Let me buy a new synth. So it's like $500. I was like, let me buy this thing, and
Yeah, they were killing it for a while. Yeah.
yeah, and it's great. Honestly, it's become one of the staples in my rig. And it's such a beautiful board. And then on my right hand, I have the two tiers. On the bottom, I have a Korg Wave State, which is
Oh, wow.
a wavetable and sequencing thing. So that's a really in-depth board. That one you can't do on the fly. Where like everything from the middle and left is all analog. So everything I can do on the fly, everything on my right's digital. So it's like I'll have a lot more like pre-programmed. So then above that is the Hydrosynth by Ashen Sound Machines.
Oh, okay.
Which is quickly becoming one of my favorite synths I've ever purchased. It's so powerful. It's like literally one of the most powerful synths out there. And it's one of the best polyphonic aftertouches. And it's really good. So I use, it really depends on like what element of sound design I'm going for, which boards I will be doing. So it's a lot of different sonic capabilities. So I purposely try not to repeat too many tonal capabilities in my rig, just for that reason, because I'm already obnoxious enough showing up with 5 keyboards at these clubs. Right? So it's like, all right, they need to have purpose. So yeah.
Very cool. So
was this at the One Stop?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember what video
it very much looks like the One Stop.
It does look like the One Stop. Yeah, I sent one too, like from like Strange Creek. There's a bunch of videos. John is so good about cataloging what's going on in this band. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like an active, ready catalog of it. It's cool. So
well, that was a hot show.
Yeah.
So, no, I just want to do this again, even though you guys have kind of mentioned it before. You were just so you had such great chemistry, Mike and Isaac, just talking there. But a lot of the people in the audience may be totally new to these people that you guys all know. So can you run down the lineup in Mono Means One?
Yeah, so we've got John Ferrara on bass, the fuzzy guy with the giant stick right there. We got Rob Madore on drums, and then obviously me on keys.
Okay, and now you and Rob also are PX3?
Yep, that is correct.
All right, there we go. So that simplifies it for the folks out there.
and if anyone out there has a question, Liza, please put it up on the screen.
Sir.
We'll get it. Well, I tend to, when we have a guest, I don't pay as much attention to the chat. I did while the video was playing, but I try to focus.
The chat's my specialty, Mike, so no worries. I got it.
All right, good deal. Thank you. And if you have any questions, by all means.
Oh, absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
Where I was going a little bit before, where was I going?
Before I interrupted.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. We were on a roll.
I wanted people to hear something because it was almost like I wanted the audience to be able to hear some music, get to know people. And right now it's pretty simple. It's like, okay, he's in a band with these two gentlemen, and in his other band he plays with just the drummer, and it simplifies it. And now,
right.
Anybody
Absolutely. No, we want to hear some music. and I'm sure people want to hear some music. We want to get that music out there, but no, so what? So first you did these loop recordings for him. What changed, and all of a sudden now you guys are with him?
Mono
We did
didn't
that-
mean one anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we did that first tour with him, and it just clicked. I mean, it was apparent from the first time we ever played together that there was this unspoken bond musically and also personality wise. Like we just vibed as humans. I mean, we can
Right.
do these ridiculous overnight drives together, and like it's no big deal. So I mean, I don't know. We just get it's I've toured for so many years, and I've worked with musicians that might be incredible musicians, but they're impossible to travel with or impossible to be in bands with. And you're like, okay, cool. You're talented in spades, but I'm all set. It's the opposite here. They're not only talented in spades, both of them, but like they're the easiest people to work with. So like, I think it was a perfect storm, if you will. Like we all have the same kind of musical vision as well. And we speak the same language musically, which is hard to find because how many people are like prog nuts. Like I got my degree in jazz, but I'll sit here and listen to like death metal, man. Like I'll listen to whatever. So like we all have this really eclectic taste of music. Well, we'll go listen to Meshuggah, and then we'll go listen to Brad Meldau. Like and we'll still get off in the same way. And I think that understanding of each other, like musically, where we come back from, like background wise, is pretty cool. And that's what kind of made it permanent, if you will. It was like there was never like an extended offer of like, will you be in my band? It was kind of like this unspoken understanding that we
It's
did
got to happen.
and it just like it was apparent like this was the right fit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can attest to that from an audience member and a friend. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you need to have musicians with enough chemistry, especially in improvisational moments. You need to be able to hear each other well and know when it's your time to kind of pull back and give up the foreground a little bit, and when it's your time to rise to the foreground and just make the overall music just flow better that way. And because you're basically making form on the spot, but you still want it to have form because people are experiencing it over time.
That's very true.
Sorry.
Yeah. And the amazing thing is, you guys do this freeform stuff, but you're all knowledgeable in music. And that's one of the things after taking lessons from Gabe for a few years is he very much simplifies music theory because, he started out doing classical music. So it's amazing the background you guys have. Like you said, you listen to all kinds of music. So do I.
Yeah.
And I listen to so much more now because of all of you, because you're all the time talking about it. And I go, wait a minute, did I miss that band or the new band?
Oh, there's so much. I feel the same way too. I'm like, oh man, I need to go like diversify my listening even more.
Yeah. People say there's no good music out there anymore. Well, that's because you're listening to the crap on the radio.
Like, you're not digging hard enough. There's plenty.
Yeah, man. There's so much good music, and I'm sure. What are some of the things that you're into?
Okay. Oh man. So as of late, I've been on a huge Sungazer kick. I don't know if you're hip to Sungazer. It's Adam.
No.
So Adam Neely is this great bassist, and he has this band called Sungazer, and I've been obsessed, like absolutely obsessed with them. They're really cool. Like they're like wild Ableton programming. Nothing's in 4. Everything's in these incredible additive time signatures. They're remarkable musicians. Who else? Like Tigran Hamasyan as a pianist. Really into that. I'll listen to. I mean, I've been like digging back into the New Deal, which is this trio out of Canada in the early 2000s, like this electronic duo or electronic trio. Sorry. What else have I been listening to? Man, I don't know.
Is Adam Neely, does he have a large channel about acoustics on YouTube?
Sure does. He's an educator.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I've seen his content. He is fantastic.
Yeah,
wow.
you should really check out his band though.
Well, I haven't, but now I will. See,
Yeah,
now I've
gotta
added
check it
more
out.
new music.
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also like I was on a big kick with Justice. Like last year, according to Spotify, Justice was my most listened to artist. So, which is they're a French electronic duo. They're really cool. They did stuff like Tame Impala But I like their earlier stuff. I like, before they started to. I mean, I like it. It's all good. I can't complain. It's all great. But just they're raw. It's awesome. They're like really great sound design, like really, really gritty synths. These like old MS-20s and things like that. So it has like that, like really like bitey type of tone. I dig it.
Yeah. Well, more stuff for me to check out.
Right on.
Do you get into any of the like world music? There's so much wild music from all around the world now.
There is. I can't say I
Oh,
can
yeah.
cite anyone like offhand. I know it's terrible. I should be like way more cultured.
Well, the problem is, unless you're Gabriel Marin, I can't pronounce most of these people's names.
It's so funny, man. Every time I hang with Gabe, like he'll pull up in his car, right? And it's just like the craziest shit is coming out of his car, man. It's like it's just awesome, man. It's just like it's never what you expect. It's always just like this incredible world music, and we'll just sit there and just hang and just like absorb. So I mean, I couldn't pronounce it either, but
Yeah, it's amazing.
In
Yeah,
the 90s,
exactly.
I was loving it because it was actually popular world music at that time, and I got into a lot of the music in Africa, like King Sunny Ade and the African Beats, and
Oh,
Rob
yeah,
Madore. And but then it switched, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we got to be mainstream again. It's like imagination is only allowed for a short amount of time, I guess, when as far as popular things go.
that's true.
Well, yeah. Well, luckily, probably the first world music I listened to was in my youth, and that would be Ravi Shankar, one of the few
yeah.
Indian names you can say. The rest of them,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I listen to Shakti a lot. Like when John McLaughlin did all of that.
yeah.
I remember like going at like buying the record and like just sitting down and just like not knowing what to do with myself. Just like whoa. It's mind blown. But yeah, I mean, I love all that stuff. I'll listen to whatever. I'm so non-discerning. It's just like give me some music. I'll go listen to whatever you want.
Right.
That's half the fun.
Yeah. And you guys, I when I saw you the first time down in Asheville, these guys played. I'm talking to the audience for a second, but these guys played 3 sets of all improvised music.
Mhm.
Now, how many bands do that? Not many bands do that
Yeah, that's what I prefer, and
and get away with it.
well, my wife and I, when we did some performances back when we lived in Miami, we had kind of like partially improvised. We'd use graphic scores, or at least for me, because I have a vision problem too, like a graphic score where during this section do sounds like this, during this section do sounds like this, and things like that. And so you do have, in some cases, you can give yourself a little bit of a path or something to shoot for, but then when you hit it and you're listening, not being restrained to reading notes, you can actually come up with some more magic that is just going to be more powerful at that moment than, I don't know. There's just something about it. I love the on-the-spot chemistry of improvisation.
No, I do too. I always treat it like, the art form of a mandala, right? Like the fact that there is this element of semi-permanence no matter what, which is, I don't know, very exhilarating and very cathartic because that's it. Like the audience is there with you. That's it. Like that's you get to share this collective experience that the fact that it's not replicable is what makes it so special. Like there's no slight to these incredible like high production shows, but the same show every single night. Like there's something that about just taking that leap of faith, right? Like where you're just like, you know what, freewheel it. Let's see what happens. And there's something that's so exhilarating because if the audience is right there with you, there's no better experience when everyone's in that moment together. That like energy exchange live is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So,
would you like
go ahead.
to play a little bit of PX3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just to
Go
keep,
for it.
Yeah, I got the video loaded up, so we'll just switch on over to this view. There we go. I frequently click things wrong. There we go.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah, there's.
apocalyptic is a word
I need
that
to
gets thrown around.
turn up the
Actually,
volume.
not that often. Really, not that often, Isaac. It's actually kind of a rare word. Maybe in like Fallout 4, certain video games, certain, what is it, Walking Dead. Walking Dead, you hear about apocalyptic a lot. Let me tell you about apocalyptic, though. It means the end of the world. It's a coming together. It's an explosion. It's an Armageddon of force, of power. And that is exactly what y'all are about to hear right now. Isaac, give me a little bit of something. Give me a little something to talk over. Yes, yes. If you've ever seen a Star Wars movie, then you know the sound you're hearing right now.
Soundtrack.
And if you've never been to outer fucking space before, be prepared to go there now. My name is John Kamal from 99.1 PLR. And these two gentlemen right next to me are Isaac Young and Rob Madore.
I think it's a shame the camera isn't on you right now.
I know. Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep going. I'm sorry to do that.
The name of this band is PX3. Your chicken is about to get hard.
was intense.
Very.
Yes. No, but I love it because so much electronic music, and you hear synthesizers, just rigidly quantized and basically playing very specific things, and it's not like alive as much, but when you're improvisational, definitely that's the case. But I guess you feel a big sense of responsibility with PX3 because there's no one else to help you out with melody or harmony. It's
Yeah,
all you.
it's all me. That's fun though. It
It's
allows some freedom.
awesome.
Oh, thank you. To answer your
You
question,
guys,
the
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
yeah. So it's funny because now I remember with this video. So the crowd shot. If you fast forward about halfway through this video, you'll actually be able to see the full lighting design of the stage. And that's one of our lighting directors, Matt Agresta, doing it. So we work with a handful of lighting directors, depending on like the size of the show. This was one of the bigger festivals that we headlined like 2.5, 3 years ago. And so we worked with our friend Matt Agresta, who did a bunch of image mapping, and so he's doing all this live with us. So like
Wow.
we don't use any MIDI. There's no Ableton. There's nothing on our stage. So like we don't do a click. Everything like we could if we wanted to. It's just not our vibe. Like we want to be able to have that.
Right.
So we work with some really talented LDs.
Yeah, that person. Well, first of all, you two on stage, just the entire show. It's amazing how much energy just two people can bring to the stage. But yeah, I was looking at the lighting. It's like, are these guys triggering things in real time because the lighting is so on point?
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
Matt's very
beautiful.
talented. Matt is an incredible lighting director. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's not always the case, is it?
no.
Because a lot of times, like the one stop, it's just whatever the venue has.
Yeah, no. This he brought in this entire rig for this.
Yeah,
festival.
you can tell.
Yeah, this one was a big stage setup. It was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Oh, now you can see it. Yeah.
I'd like to hear hold on. I'd like to hear the music at that point. All right. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, big
beans.
time. And you know what I find
Good evening,
interesting?
Adam Gray.
Yeah, good evening, Adam. What I find interesting is, the way you guys are right directly across from each other, having seen you perform, how very little eye contact there actually is. It's like you guys just feed off each other musically.
It's either a fatal flaw or a superpower. I'm not really sure, but
I
yeah,
would say superpower. I mean, about the only time I remember seeing you looking over at him is when you're coming to an end.
yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, are we done?
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, that's why this band's so special, is because we can do that, which is a rarity. I mean, I always had the stage plot in mind when we decided to do this, because the symmetry is beautiful, right? Like I really like the visual symmetry of it. But there's something that's very intense about like for me, like hearing, like having the drums facing me, just from a sonic standpoint, is selfish. Because the reason I started a band with him, so I could just watch him play. So,
Yeah,
so
he's
like,
he's
right?
something
So I could just like, all right, cool, man. I'm just gonna let Rob go off for a bit, and I can just like vibe and hang out there, which is really fun. But yeah, like I mean, we just know. I wish I had a better like technical explanation. It's just, but we just do. Like it's just the way it goes. It's really cool.
Single coming out on Tuesday.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
no,
talking
you-
there.
You don't need a technical. Yeah, and he's a hell of a drummer.
He really is.
He is, and yeah, I don't know if he's out there. He watches it in reruns, but we'll be coming after you too, Rob. We're gonna get some drummers on the show. I done asked Jeff.
All righty.
But,
What,
so are you guys? I know Mono is working on a new release. Is that correct?
John, we have 3 new songs. So 2 we debuted this past week.
Right.
1 more that we're working on. And I know John's writing a handful more that he's getting ready to send to us.
Well, for the folks in the audience, Listless Playthings of Enormous Forces is the debut album from Mono Means One. Who named that?
That's all John.
That's all John.
He's a big Vonnegut fan, right? It's all Vonnegut.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He comes up with some interesting names. They all do.
He does. He's
Twilight Zone and
yeah, no, he's the brainchild of all that. I get
Slaughterhouse 5 was a big influence on me.
Yeah, I mean, how can it not be? I love that. I love that book.
So what about PX3? You had Piano Percussion Planet.
Yep.
Was last year. You guys got anything in the works for PX3?
Yeah, I'm currently writing the record right now. But writing. So it's funny. So being an improvisational outfit, how do you record an album, right? So a lot of our records, our first record was live. We have a couple live albums out. A Piano Percussion Planet was the first one that we were like treated like a studio record, but we set some limitations to keep the improvisational spirit part of the record. So we weren't really allowed to do too many takes at all. So if we were going to layer, there were 1 takes and like you kept it, or like you trashed the whole song. And so I've done a lot of back end production for this next one, which is gonna be a slightly more produced record than Piano Percussion Planet was, but that was pretty heavily produced. I did like a ton of back end sound design, a lot of programming. But we're gonna try to get some more guests on this one. But I'm trying to think. We have probably like 7 or 8 songs that are in the works right now. I'm just gonna keep writing a bunch more and see what sticks. We have also a bunch of live albums that we just are sitting on, like that are fully made.
Oh,
yeah. We have yeah, so we're just waiting. It's like, it has to be at the right time. But when we did our residency, which we're moving now to a bigger venue on Thursday, we'd have all these great guests. So we had the opportunity to record a handful of those shows. So they're ready. We're just waiting to release them. Yeah, but we're going to do a studio and then again.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just trying to get there before Mike. For people in the Northeast, if the website's to be believed, on January 16th, there's a Thursday throwdown with Mono Means One and PX3.
Yep. Yeah.
In Bridgeport, Connecticut. Folks, in the description, I do have links to both websites of PX3 and Mono Means One, as well as their YouTube channels. So you could get other social media links from the websites.
Oh, yeah. Anybody up north, you lucky bastards.
So
you guys also get some guests.
Yep. Yeah, we have some.
One night you guys jam with Gabe. I wished I had a plane.
Yeah. We'll be bringing Gabe back for sure. So that's definitely part of.
But you got to bring him down south.
Yeah. Gabe doesn't like the warm weather though. Gabe likes the cold weather.
It's cold right now.
You guys got hit with the cold. But
yeah. We just got hit with some snow. So
Harrisburg.
I don't know about Florida.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Harrisburg next week. Yeah, we're doing
it's like the day after you're going from Bridgeport, Connecticut, down to Harrisburg. I used to. I did my undergraduate at Lebanon Valley College in Pennsylvania, and so yeah, I know Harrisburg pretty well.
Yeah, I have family that they're not there anymore, but I had family in Harrisburg, so I used to go there all the time.
I used to see the Pink Floyd cover band called The Machine there.
Oh, it's Chris DeAngelis is in that band. I'm the bassist. He was in the band Kung Fu, or he still is in the band Kung Fu.
Yeah. With Tim Palmieri.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Who I just played with Tim a couple weeks ago at Park City, actually.
Yeah, that's the one time I almost got in Facebook jail. I think Tim was opening for, I think, Consider the Source somewhere up north, and they were getting ready to come down to Asheville. And I made a comment on Facebook about I used the word kidnap
Oh no.
in referring to bringing Tim to Asheville, and I guess the algorithm took me serious, and I got a slap on the hand.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I wasn't being literal.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Baltimore.
familiar with Tim.
And then Baltimore the next day after that.
Yep.
So you guys get around.
Yeah, we tour around. We'll do like these 3-4 night runs. I mean, we did Bonnaroo last year. That was a big one. We played down in Atlanta, Georgia. Like we've been all over. We did, I don't know, like 80 shows last year, something like that. Yeah, so it's 80 shows between like PX3 and Mono Means One.
Yeah.
And we try to bop around the country as much as we can. And
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'll have to keep checking it out. I heard Gabriel say, well, at least CTS at least at some point made it down to the Swanee, Spirit of Swanee, which is near us. We live in North Florida right now, so the Spirit
they
of
do
Swanee
make it down there.
Well, it's a great venue, so
it is. It's a really
there's nothing like seeing these guys live. You can listen to it and be in awe listening, but you go see it live, and it's just the intensity is unbelievable. So.
All right.
Liza, you're being quiet. I tried to pause.
This is the first time that Mike had nothing to say.
No, I was trying to pause.
No, Mike, just enjoying the conversation.
Okay. All right.
Definitely need you guys down in Spirit of Swanee, though.
Sign us up. Point us in the right direction. I'll take it.
All right.
Yeah. Definitely. You guys definitely need to check them out in whatever form they come down there in. I keep saying we need to have a Source Fest.
That'd be fun. Like all the side
all
projects.
of you guys. I wish I need to. I'm not a concert promoter. I have a friend that used to do it. Maybe I need to talk to him. But anyway,
that's a good side gig, Mike.
Yeah.
With all the people you know, it's perfectly possible for you to take that on. Why not?
Well, it's knowing people at venues, I suppose.
Well, it's knowing venues and then marketing and all that, getting an audience.
Yeah, I can't even market myself, although I might be better at marketing than you guys.
Well,
yeah, I always say I suck at marketing my own material, but yeah. Being on this show has helped my YouTube channel a little bit. So
there you go.
Well, YouTube's tough on musicians in a way because the algorithm, doesn't really circulate. It's not as organic when you're just doing music, but educational stuff helps. Like my synth tutorials help. Mm-hmm. So Isaac, definitely keep on your master classes because that gets circulated pretty well on YouTube.
For sure, yeah.
Now, you only have a limited amount of stuff on your website as far as your music, correct?
There's not too much. I mean, what you see is on, like, we mostly have Spotify and, all the streaming services, but we're a live band. That's what it is. Like,
everybody streams.
Yeah.
Well, I found most of your stuff on Amazon, but I had to do a few different searches because of PX3. and it didn't seem to want to turn up anything. And then I think I put in Piano Percussion Planet or something, and then all of a sudden I had everything.
We're the best kept secret, right?
Yeah. That's why I was throwing that out there for other folks who might want to check out your music. I know Amazon, you are not on Bandcamp as far as I know.
No, we are not on Bandcamp. Probably should be, but we don't, we keep our releases. We also do, honestly, like what we've been doing recently, we haven't been back since, is we work with a small label in Brooklyn and we do proprietary direct to vinyl recordings. So since we're 100% improvised, we'll do like one take that goes directly from microphone to wax and you'll sell the single. So that's kind of been our biggest medium of recording. Like we did press Piano Percussion Planet on like a 45 like 45, a 12-inch 45 RPM. So like we did a full size record, but we pressed it at 45, so you can get like slightly better bass resonance and things like that in the grooves. But we really like doing the proprietary, the direct to vinyl stuff because it captures the essence of what we are as a band, is like just in the moment, which is really cool. But if anyone wants to be our media manager and do it all for us, you're hired, man.
Yeah. I can't even manage my own media. I'm behind on getting these up on my website.
It's time consuming.
It is.
Oh yeah.
It is time consuming. Yeah, I know. Like with Bandcamp, you got to upload everything and yada yada yada, unless you pay extra money. But at any rate, but yeah, you do them one shot singles on vinyl.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a bit. We sell out of them really quickly. They're definitely like the best thing that we come out with.
What's the duration?
It's like 7 minutes. That's about it. Okay. Yeah, it's
that
cool.
Must be hard.
It's really funny because like the way they set that up is the engineer is behind me, so I can't see the engineer in the way that room is. Only Rob can. So they don't really like cut you off. They'll just like start waving, be like, "It's over. Like we're done. The needle's been lifted, and we're just still going."
Oh,
like they're like, okay,
fade out.
Most of them do end as fade outs. It's usually the way it goes, but it's a really cool experience doing that style of recording.
Oh man,
yeah. Because it's like, well, I guess with time and stuff, if you're playing some similar ideas, but when you're improvising, it's like, okay, give me a warning at 3.5 minutes that we're halfway through, so we could start thinking about some ending ideas.
Wrap it up. Yeah, exactly.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
Some of the engineers will give you like a 60-second warning. They'll come in on the cans and be like, "You got 60 seconds." They're like, "All right, cool. I can wrap up my idea."
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I have here a video that's live at Nick Lab Recording Studios.
Nick Balkan's studio. That was like one of his first.
Oh yeah.
That was one of his first video projects. I was like right when he bought the place.
So let's give that a shot here. great
Sweet.
sounds there. I mean, that Hammond organ sound is really nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a cool board. That was I had to buy that board blind like 13 years ago because I got hired for a tour, and they have very specific requirements of what was needed as like the keyboard patch setting. And I was like looking at Nords, and I was like, that won't do it. And I like Hammond had just come out with his like 2 manual keyboard. It's like, I'll buy it. Like I just bought, like literally had it shipped to my house, and I immediately took it on the tour. Like I was learning the board like on sound check. Like, what does this thing do? Like, figuring out the buttons. It's one of my favorite boards. It's actually getting repaired right now. It just like has a couple dead keys, so I'm hoping it's done by Thursday.
You said it's a
Oh yeah.
you said it's a Hammond board.
Yeah, it's a Hammond SK2, so it's actually
Oh,
like a
okay.
Hammond organ. But it's a digital tone wheel. So you
Uh-huh.
can split it. So the bottom can be like a Rhodes or Wurlitzer. You can do splits and things like that too. But I honestly don't really do much keyboard splitting just because it's just not my style.
Yeah. That's cool. So yeah, you'd rather use 2 separate keyboards.
Yeah, well, I mean, also like I'm a Hammond player too. Like I'm a B3 player, so having both manuals makes a big
Oh,
difference.
okay, cool.
So-
We did an episode on the Hammond organs several weeks back.
Oh
That was
God,
a
yeah, that was
really
one of the
cool.
early ones.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
little
beautiful.
history of the Hammond.
That's cool. That's
We
very
did
cool.
Moog as well, but so that was at Balkan Studios, huh?
Yeah, that was like one of the first. That was like right when the band started. That was almost 6 years ago. So like my rig has completely changed. Our sound has changed.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, like they had a Gaia there. Like I'm not using a Gaia anymore. In my rig, right? I only had
I saw that.
yeah. Now I'm like expanded. I was like, let me get more toys. Let me
Yeah,
play
I
different
sold
sounds.
off my guy maybe after a year.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that's actually Rob's keyboard. So we were just using it in the rig because it was matching the tone we
Oh,
wanted
okay.
at the time. But now he has it. So occasionally we'll bring it out every
Yeah,
once in a
there's
while.
something about it where like on paper it looks so good, and then you try it and it's like,
It's almost there. It's like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that far away. And also programming on it's a pain in the ass. It's just like it's not enough on the front. Like I just want to be able to have like one knob per function. I don't need menu diving.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And it's like if I wanted to control something, let me just have it, or give me a patch cable. Like let me just do it. I don't want to have to deal with all this menu and nonsense. It's too
Because
much.
it's tactile, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's something responsive about
And you
that.
get to memorize it, and
Exactly.
just
That's why I
do
love
it.
the Moog. Like the Moog is a
Oh, yeah.
staple. I'll never let go of that. Like I just know every knob. I just like you just know where it all does. It's great.
yeah. Back there, I have the subharmonicon.
Oh, yeah,
drum for
those are
another
cool.
Mother and a Mother 32, the 3.
Yep. Yeah, it was funny. I was
Full
playing with
stack.
the DFAM recently because
Oh yeah.
we were doing shows with this band Gymkata. So they're from upstate New York, and their drummer, his name's Packy, is an incredible synthesist as well. So he'll have his kit, and he'll have his like Mother 32 and DFAM all rack mounted, and everything is like syncing to everyone else's board. Oh, it's brilliant. It's out, and he's like, he's so passionate about it, and it's really cool just to like nerd out with him. Just be
Yeah,
like,
but
all
there's
right, what's
something about
yeah.
there's something about that DFAM. It's just got a. It's almost like it's alive. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, no, he gets some really wacky tones and
in the
sequences. Out.
subharmonicon.
Those are they're all great pieces of gear.
Yeah.
Now, the Balkan Brothers, that's another duo that I recently came across not long ago. So I'm kind of waiting on them to come south. Nick tells me they will be sometime this year.
Yeah, they usually go down south. We used to live right down the street from each other long time ago. Oh yeah, I've known the Balkans. Closing on 20 years, we've known each other at this point. So I've been on Balkan Brothers records, like their early records. I'm all over. Yeah, they're I love those guys.
And they are for our audience again. They are guitar and drums.
Yep.
And they'll have special guests too sometimes, but it's basically them two. So where you're synth and drums, they're guitar and drums.
Yeah, we've done a handful of shows with them. It's a great pairing.
Yeah,
two duos.
And for those that like blues, they're very bluesy on a lot of their stuff. So,
yep.
But yeah, apparently he's done a CTS video there too. I forget which one, but
yeah, he did. He did a Social Assassins one too.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So what's in the works this year? What do you got coming up that you're looking forward to?
I'm really excited about Thursday's residency because that one was a big graduation. We had been 2 years at the smaller club across the street, and like grew
Right.
big enough that the venue across the street, which is much larger, and I mean, they're both great clubs. So this is not to speak ill of the other one, but the Park City Music Hall is like one of the best clubs in the country. It's like,
That's the Thursday Throwdown.
yeah, so we're
in
doing that
Bridgeport.
once a month, every the third Thursday, and so we migrated from across the street to this one, and it's gonna be fun. I'm just excited to play. I'm excited that we get to do a 3-night run next week. I mean, these past 2 shows we did to kick off the year, but like start really strong. So I'm excited to keep that momentum going. Yeah, I mean, we have some big tour plans that I can't talk about yet. That will be announced soon. You know, it's like we'll begin announcing a bunch.
Born to secrecy.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited at like you know, going back to some cities that I really dig, and getting into some like new cities. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited about the new songs that we're coming up with too. Like all the sound design opportunities has been really cool too. So it's been fun, like testing the boundaries of like what I can get away with. Synthesis structure that's still melodic, but still, you know, my little shade of weird. You know,
Right.
it's like, all right. I was like, John, how messed up can I make this sound for you? Yeah, so you know, I've been like doing experimenting with some new tones with John, which is cool because I've been like toying with like different I don't know how technical you want me to get, but like new synth tricks of like just ways of like routing things, so that way I'm getting more emotive qualities out of it, but still being able to kind of like do my edgy sound because like I like slightly more aggressive tones, and you know, trying to make sure that like it's matching the timbral approach that everyone else wants. That's not some just abrasive, obnoxious sound that no one wants to listen to.
Well, and
We
that's
love
why,
abrasive, obnoxious sounds. No worries.
Yeah, right.
Love that stuff.
I know, right?
Love it.
yeah.
Bring more of that. Yes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Then you know,
Well, I'm sure they will too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it amazes me because it's like it's no different with mono than it is with consider the source. It's like 3 guys soloing.
Yeah.
So as an audience member, I feel like kind of when I'm watching a bobblehead, it's like I'm over here, you know, because it's just everyone's so intense. You don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like everybody's feeding off each other, and yeah, you probably got a long way to go with messing up John because I mean he plays next to Gabe. So, and I asked him once, I did, yeah, I asked him, I said, so you know, because he doesn't play a fretless bass. I said, what do you do when Gabe's getting into all that microtonal shit? And he said, I just come as close as I can.
Yeah, I remember we did one like when we played with Gabe, and it got out there. It was like it was one of these things where I'm just like sitting there with the fine tuning knobs. I'm like praying, am I close to his tuning? Because he's in all of these moments of just like, you know, like kind of in and out of, you know, like, you know, what you consider Western, like A440. I was like, oh my God, I was like, Gabe, what are you doing? And he throws this MIDI nonsense on it, all like the trumpet shit going on. Oh my God, it's trying to get, but it's fun, man. I mean, I love that. I love the challenge, you know, because I'm a jazz musician. Like I got my degree in jazz, so it's like I know the harmony, but it's fun to break the rules of it, right?
Oh yeah.
That for me is where I get the thrill of like everything's been done, like every note's been played. There's only 12 of them, so like now Gabe's finding the 13th note. You know, it's like it's pretty hip to be able.
Oh
to,
God, yeah. Well, an amazing thing is,
planet.
well, what's amazing is that it's done. How do I want to word this? The spirit of it is there. It's very deep. It's not just like when I first watched him, you know, because he does a lot of the shredding stuff.
Mhm.
I've never been super impressed as although I can't do it myself. So, but you know, just shredding for the hell of shredding doesn't really do anything for me if there's no spirit behind it, you know. And there's definitely that with them and with you guys. So it's very deep. I don't even, you know, it's beyond words, really.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
I want to be respectful of your time, Isaac. About how much longer do you have, and is there anything that you'd like to cover
Oh, I mean, as long as you all need, man. So I mean, I've got nothing, no ulterior agenda here.
Ulterior agenda. No.
Well, we appreciate your time for
Oh,
sure.
of course. Well, I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
Well, you stumped Mike.
No, I thought Lawrence had something. I was
No,
pausing for you.
I was giving him the opportunity.
Oh, well, I mean, speaking of your technical guy, I mean, that would be Lawrence. I met Lawrence.
Wow.
He does. I don't know if you ever heard of VCV rack. It's a
Yeah.
computer
Mhm.
thing, but it's basically modular synthesis, and he has all these tutorials out there.
I did some stalking, man. It's pretty cool. I was
Yeah,
nerding out a
I
bit,
can't
but
afford
yeah.
Eurorack modules. So.
I mean, Dark and I don't even have the space to do it, right?
Right. So that's how
Although-
I met him. I was watching his tutorials.
Nice.
Well, technically these are compatible, but that 3-tier thing, those Moogs work well together. It's easy to sync them, and I just love Moog controls because you could just not even look at it. You could just feel your way around and everything. So that's fine with it. But other types of Eurorack, it's like, oh man, if I had the money, I'd love to dive into it, but just don't. So
Yeah.
but VCV Rack does some pretty cool stuff, and so I live in both worlds, digital and analog. But for live, I prefer analog because you are, in the moment, and like you said, you don't have to menu dive. And,
Yep.
it limits you a bit, but that's fine.
Sometimes there's a beauty in that limitation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I have so much on stage, it's just this you stonewall yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's the thing.
don't have to worry about doing things I can't do at that moment.
Exactly. Right. It's like here's what you have. Cool. Here's my crayon box. Let's make it happen. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, yeah, I watched a lot of those tutorials, but I'm still not very good at it. So,
Well, I've taken a little break. I got to get back to it. Some freelance work that I do has been taking up some of my time, so I kind of do need to earn some money, But so I do that, but I do got to get back to making the tutorials, and it helps me creatively because as I do these tutorials on how to do certain sounds and stuff, I'm making those sounds for myself because I'm at that point now rather than like, okay, I need to teach people how to make this type of sound. No, I'll just say, what do I want to make? And then I'll do a video on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the fun. It's like I have like my bank of patches that are meant for like when I'm designing it for like a band, and then there's ones that I'm just like, all right, let's challenge myself to build all these things. So I mean, it's a lot of fun to get into a few challenges of everything because like I don't know if you ever played with like a Hydra synth, but right, the routing
No, I haven't.
on that are absolutely remarkable because you could treat it like a modular. You could do like envelope triggers all built in, and it's all like one button done. And so it's
Wow.
like idiot-proof routing, which I absolutely love because you treat it like a modular system, but it's just like click, click. So if I want to route an envelope to like my LFO, I hold one, and that's routed and it's done. That's it. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
like, yeah, it's really easy. And you can get very creative with it because they also have FM synthesis and it's a full wavetable. So you can start like building all of this motion. The only thing is like it doesn't have a sequencer in it. So what I've like done is I just use an LFO and pitch the LFO and
Right.
like a sequencer. So it's like you do the same thing, but it's pretty cool. It's like one of my favorite new boards to come out. That's like looking at the tradition of analog and modular and going, but how can we make this like stage ready? And it's cool. It's a very, very cool instrument. I hope
Have
they're
we-
listening. Give me an endorsement. Give me your shit for free.
yeah, there you go.
I'm
Yeah,
sure when you put it that way, they'll be more than happy to.
Give me your thing up.
yeah. That's
stickers.
always nice. Free.
Have we played this this video that is at Strange Creek 24?
I don't think
so.
so.
That's Monomeans one. That was a wild set. That one we handed out 1,000 lollipops with the band's name on it throughout the day.
Yeah, that's John. That's their gig. Lollipops.
Yeah, no, that show is wild. That's a cool festival. That there's two festivals that they run called one's called Strange Creek. That's on Memorial Day weekend, and then Wormtown is on Labor Day weekend or thereabouts. It's at this great location up in Western Mass, up in the Berkshires. and it's been going on for like 25, 30 years at this point. So we were asked to do the late night cabin set, which is a coveted set, and especially as like an inaugural showing at this festival. That's like a big deal. And what you can see is you'll see how packed it is. But it was this packed like an hour before we got on. I couldn't get on stage.
Oh wow!
I literally was like, I was trying to be so polite. I'm like, excuse me, and they're like, what? Like people like getting really upset that I'm like trying to move forward. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm playing the show for you. Like I need to actually go get up on stage and play the show for you. But this was wild because like it spilled out. Like there's 500-600 more people all around the cabin. Like it was.
Oh God!
It was absurd. It was absolutely absurd. Yeah, it was a vibe. Yeah.
That's
that's
cool
a big festival.
Yeah,
because that was a time I played in this funk band. It was just covers, but I played in a funk band when I was at Penn State. It was called Fat Albert, PHAT, and we did this ultimate frisbee, which is kind of like frisbee football.
Oh yeah,
the thing, and they would rent out this large cabin every year for that, and that would always be our best crowds. Like 3,000 people in there, and it's just packed. And there's something about a cabin. Those are great venues.
Yeah, they are. It's tight quarters.
So anyway, let's hear some of it.
Yeah. Wow. Isaac, was that yeah, holy shit. Was that Emily I saw dancing in the front of the stage there?
Yeah, it was.
That would be John Ferrara's girlfriend, folks. Long time. God, there's some great videos. I just love when those two do videos.
Yeah.
I keep saying he's got to bring her down south. I got to meet this woman. And the amazing thing is, I remember a CTS show in Boone, North Carolina, when I don't think they had been together maybe 6 months. And you could just tell, how much in love those two are.
Oh,
It's really beautiful. And I'm sure you've seen it right up front. But anyway, yeah, that kicked ass, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I love the sound towards the beginning, the lead sound you were using, kind of like the best way I could describe it is almost like a broken circuit type of sound.
Yeah.
Liza, was
I
that
love that
intense
stuff.
enough for
I
you?
love that stuff.
It was. Loved it. It's really cool.
And here's what happens when you go see this live. Eventually, it just takes you over, and you become like in a trance state. And I'm not even kidding, because my old man, 64-year-old body, by the end of the night, I'm like feeling it.
I am too, man. I'm stiff and stormy by the end.
Yeah. I'm like, and I see some of the people around me that are just twirling all around and all that shit, and I'm like, but I can't stop moving. It's just intensifying, and it grows inside of you. I've said the same thing every CTS show I go to. It's like, I don't know how you guys do it, but it's like something growing inside of you that just gets more intense every time you go and see it. And it's the same thing with mono. But and in my mind, some of the most underrated musicians around in all these bands, for sure.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, freedom is.
I mean, I asked Gabe one time early on. I said, "You stand next to this guy every night." John was doing his solo, and Gabe stepped off, and we were standing there. And I guess I don't know, get used to it or whatever. But
yeah,
I haven't.
I don't think I get used to it. So yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, those guys have been playing 20 years, so you got a little catching up to do.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But I hopefully you guys will be playing for 20 years as well. I
hope so.
I certainly hope so.
Same here.
All right, folks. Well, I think it might be advantageous to end on a high note there after that wonderful experience.
That was a high note.
It was extremely.
That was a good
note.
video. Good choice, Lawrence.
Yes.
So anything
now no one can go to bed. All awake.
Need to wind down now to go to bed.
I have like a 2-hour drive home from these shows, longer now, but from Asheville, and I always say, I get going pretty quick after the show because I can run on adrenaline. I get about to Knoxville, and I start getting tired, but man, that adrenaline, I'm just going. Thank God, because it's usually like 3-4 in the morning.
I know, same here. Then by that time, I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I'm beat.
Yeah, who does you now? You don't have Gabe, so Gabe's a night owl. I know he drives. What do you guys do?
We all split the drive pretty evenly, but we get hotels. We try not to do like the crazy overnight stuff, like just out of safety, and we like sleep.
Well, nice. Yeah, and you got to pack up and stuff. So
so much gear, man. So much gear. It's worth it. It's worth it. I complain about it, but like, nah, man, I wouldn't trade it. I'll take all the boxes. Let's do it.
Oh, there you go. What's about a 14-hour drive down there for you?
To where? To Asheville?
Asheville.
Yeah, it's like 11 hours. It's not too bad.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, people don't see that.
We're doing it soon.
Well, I see that there is some order to it, though. Like next week, they're doing the Thursday night in Bridgeport, and then they go a little further down to Harrisburg, and then they go down to Baltimore. So there is some rhyme and reason to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, we try to route with a little bit of
Yeah,
mindfulness, but sometimes you have to just go where an opportunity presents itself,
exactly.
and then you build around it, and hope for the best.
Oh yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Liza, any last minute questions?
No, I just look forward to seeing what you do in the future, and sub to both of your YouTube channels, and we'll be keeping an eye out for you, at least here in Florida. Hopefully
Right.
you'll be able to come down to North Florida, or maybe do a show in Central Florida, and we shall be there.
Yeah, hopefully.
So-
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
There you go.
Awesome.
Keeping an eye out.
Right on.
Put you on the calendar.
All right. So anyway, folks, please check out the description. There's links there for PX3 as well as Mono Means One, and you could basically go to the main websites to find out any of the social media platforms they're on, so that you can stay in touch on whatever platforms you use. We got a chat here. It's Brett is excited. Thank you, Brett, for joining us.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, and there'll be plenty of people checking out on the Rewind. Sunday night's not always the greatest night, but it's what we're doing right now, and so.
Well, and you're
hopefully-
still on a couple other platforms, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we're streaming to YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Odyssey.
There you go.
So
So you're being seen a few different places.
Right
Well,
on.
thank you, Isaac. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
man. Look forward to seeing you here soon.
Absolutely. Well, I'll give you a big hug, man. I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You and Rob.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and if in the future you have some endeavor that you're working on, you would like to talk about it, you're more than welcome to come on.
Oh, well, thank you so
Absolutely,
much.
come back, please.
Absolutely. Well,
Yes.
and I'll come looking for Rob here.
There-
Liza is doing something right now. I don't know if you checked out her channel, the Psyche Electroacoustic Opera Company.
Don't let opera fool you.
It's not just that. She does everything from stage lighting stuff, working with Max MSP
Oh,
to
Very electronic.
building cigar box guitars.
Nice.
So, and she'll
Very
be doing something soon where she's getting a number of other makers of musical instruments together and everything like that. And so, just putting it out there.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Thank you very much, Isaac. We
Thank you.
greatly appreciate your company.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, brother. We'll see you, man.
Absolutely. Be well.
8:56. We are now leaving the air.